wrapped up in my sleeping bag, looking out the window at Aaron's house as the sun is beginning to creep over the horizon. And the trees are silhouetted black against the emerging blue sky with the fading stars up in the sky. And I think to myself how much I hate Aaron because he's got it fucking made with this fantastic house of his, this nice little piece of property tucked away out in the backwoods of South Dakota. God, I fucking hate him. I hope he dies. I hope he dies of syphilis. You piece of shit.
It's awfully early in the morning for Cappy, and I got a headache. That shingles vaccine, the second one, the headache just lingers. And then my feed is filled up with mansplaining and helicopter jokes. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And it looks like a report came out. Potomac plane crash caused by personnel failures investigation. Because I want to make sure that what they say on Twittergrams and Facebooks, which has been completely co-opted by political people on. Also, if you're a Democrat, you're getting nothing but the Democrat shit. If you're a Republican or just not, you're getting nothing but right-leaning shit. So I want to go, what's going on before? A new investigation in the Washington, D.C. plane and helicopter collision over the Potomac River that killed 67 has blamed personnel failures on both the pilot and the air traffic controllers. The crash on January 29th occurred when a Black Hawk helicopter on a training mission. They failed to mention here that it was a woman. People looked into it. It's like, oh my gosh, seemed to be very cozy with the Biden administration. With nothing wrong with that. But it logically, here's a young gal. Why are you a Black Hawk helicopter pilot? Were you brought in under the Biden administration? We don't have standards. It is very obvious we have DEI. We do not hire the best. That's okay. It's one thing if you don't hire your best and you create the acolyte at Disney, right? They hired Leslie Headland, who has the qualifications of being female and a lesbian. That's it. Those were her qualifications. Oh, well, here's a shitty show. The worst is the Disney stockholders pay the price, I guess. You hire an underqualified person. I'm trying to think. I don't know what your Brave doesn't get the half and half you wanted. You get an Americano instead, right? We can move. Oh, pilots. Remember when Delta, the subsidiary, has the first unmanned flight? And now the plane's upside down. That one, the investigation's still out. And I did, just to show you I'm not some dick who hates the woman folk. I have a buddy who is a pilot. I said, hey, what's the deal with that? And he gave me a very professional, unbiased. He says the landing conditions were very bad. And there are some things with that specific plane that anyone would have had an issue with. He also defended the gal and said, they said that she didn't have enough hours. Nope, she did have enough hours based on industry standards. That's the media. See, you gotta look out for the bias. Blame it, but do. So I don't know. Is the Washington Examiner biased? I don't know. We just like, this is just a pilot. Like, yeah, 67 people are dead. We need to know, are we applying rigorous, unbiased standards to our helicopter pilots? The crash on January 29th occurred when a Black Hawk helicopter pilot on a training mission collided with an American Airlines passenger carrying 64 people. Previous investigations have said the Black Hawk helicopter was flying above the permitted flight ceiling of 200 feet. The Black Hawk was flying at 300 feet at the time of the collision. It was also previously revealed that the Black Hawk did not have an advanced tracking system enabled, which would have allowed air traffic greater accuracy in its tracking of the Black Hawk's path. On Sunday, allegations that the air traffic controller approved a risky path and that the pilot disobeyed instructions arose in the New York Times investigation. The New York Times, I'm going to click. Well, now watch. It'll be behind a paywall, of course. New York Times, what the get in your lane. You are to carry the water of the Democrat Party and promote lies and deceit and bring about the look. Socialism fails no matter what, economically, social, whatever. Your job is to make it the Potemkin village and paint it as a success. You are to run propaganda. How dare you get in the way, sirs and madams? Black Hawk helicopter pilot Rebecca M. Lobach, who was undergoing an annual evaluation on the night of the crash, did not turn left after being told to do so by her instructor. There it is. Warrant Officer Andrew Lloyd Eves. He's dead too, right? Okay, I just want to make sure. The air traffic controller gave the instruction just seconds before the impact, but Lobach never turned left, instead flying directly into the jet. And then it phases out because I got to pay for it. Let's click on the New York Times investigation. That's if you're going to have this link work. Let me tell you about the late 90s and the early 2000s, boys and girls. There was a time where it just worked. It's not opening up. Let's type in New York Times. I just have to assume every aspect, every thing in my life, that when I go out to get gas, pick up the newspaper, which I don't pay. I'm just going to assume everyone involved has screwed it up. The missteps that led to the plane crash at Reagan National Airport. Now, is this here? Missteps, equipment problem, and a common but risky practice led to a fatal crash. Here's all the pop-ups. Here, read full article. I got to pay for it. No, I'm not going to. You were told to turn left and you didn't by your instructor. We have a young gal. Yeah, I know pilots got to be young. I know. We have you all pushing DEI. And I'm sorry. Yeah, DEI did play a role in this. That's just me. I could be wrong. Only, some actuary, God himself would. Oh, yes. But yeah, DEI did play a role in this. And what got me is in the handful, I'm looking through it, it's too early in the morning, is people are actually defending this. You blind motherfuckers are defending this when 67 people are dead because, and as far as I could tell, as long as my groggy early morning cappy mind could figure it out, is because you're trying to protect, in this particular case, women's fifis. DEI in general is people's feelings, minority, female or not. We're all trying to protect feelings, and we're willing to kill people for it. Not put people at risk, okay? It's death now. And like I said, it's one thing if somebody screws up the paint color on the lawn chair. Okay, it's just paint color. You're just wasting people's time. It's another thing when we put people in charge of large machines where people's lives are at risk. I don't care. Now I'm going to have to care because I remember I went. Now I'm going to try to avoid flying Delta until it's figured out which way it's going to go. That doesn't mean I'm going to get a qualified pilot. I remember I was on. Where was I going? It was it coming out to Vegas? Hot little blonde number with braided hair. She's the pilot. I'm like, okay, maybe. I'm not. You got to prove me one way or the other. I just assume, yeah, I don't care if it minority or female or whatever, you're the pilot. I'm going to assume you got the years experience. Now I'm like, But I looked at her, I said, we going to do a barrel roll? Because I'm a charming motherfucker. And she kind of smiled and giggled like, no. I said, no. We landed. We're okay. It's fine. All right. How long is that going to go? Are we keeping track? Are we keeping track of statistics? give it 10 years with all the incidents, all the accidents, and we're going to send actuaries and statisticians in, right? You know what? This could just be a fluke still. It could be. But I want to know, because let me tell you, back in the day, every young man wanted to be a pilot. You couldn't get in. The airlines were the most, it didn't matter, men, women, the airlines were the most arrogant. Everyone wants to be a pilot. You have to pay for your own training. It's like $250,000 to get up to the level of training. And they did no legacy planning because everyone is sucking our dick now. And then you had the financial crisis. They furloughed a bunch of people. I know this all because my buddy works in the airline. And then they came back, and then all of a sudden he went on up because a lot of the boomers were retiring or aging out. I think there's an age limit at which you could fly. And they kept begging him to get promoted. He's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Like, he was okay where he was. And they kept begging him, begging. Now he's, oh, yeah, they're desperate. And I'm like, oh, really? We don't need people. Kiss our ring. But you could get in. You could get in if you're a female or minority. Then there was a shot. I want to know 10, 15 years of data go by. When we start looking at accidents and errors and all that, we have to ask this now. See? And in a sad and certain way, now we've ruined it for women and minorities, the people that we presumably DEI and affirmative action have been intended to help out. Now you've soiled their reputation. Just kind of like those Disney actors who, probably fine actors. John Boyega, the gal played Rose Tico and all that. The script was shit. And it's not their fault. But now, I mean, what, Daisy Ridley, all those actors, do they have a shot anymore? And now because you let underqualified people in, and now there are starting to be consequences, now people like, it's a black pilot? Oh, no, God. It's a female? Oh, now there is bigotry. Not irrational either, though, because their lives are at the line. Whereas if we knew in a world, come with me on a journey here, boys and girls. Let's say we knew for a fact there was no, oh my God, protect people's fifis. Curry favor with different groups of people so they vote for us. Look, we're going to do DEI and ESS. Oh, first unmanned flight. What if it was Delta takes a very serious stance because lives are right? We do not lower standards for people based on race, creed, color, religion, sex, blah, 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 blah. All the traits. So when Captain Johnson is there, Captain Johnson happens to be a black female, you're like, well, but it doesn't matter because I know Delta held the standards. And they didn't do the we wouldn't worry. Like, no, they have the standards. You're like, again, in a world where you knew that you have to meet these standards, you have to do the thing. But you probably wouldn't get, unless you're an actual bigot. You'd be like, it just happens to be a black female. Okay, cool. And then the statistics would bear it out because you had an objective standard. The crash rates or the mistake rates or whatever they're called in the aviation industry, you'd see no difference. And then it would be things truly outside of the individual pilot's control, whether that was weather, mechanical failure, or whatever. And we would then say, okay, well, at least we know it ain't the pilots. That's one thing we got because we have ethics and standards and we value people's lives over fucking politics and feelings. But I'm going to bet because at some level, I don't know what, some level, DEI has crept into all the industries, including ones where lives are at risk because we place people's feelings above people's lives. And if we were to run this study over the next 10 years, you will see that underqualified people hired because of bigotry, because of traits they were born with, and that gave them a preferential treatment, you will start to see that bearing out in terms of lower performance. This is a cute little funny ha-ha game you're all playing there on the left. This is a great little socialist utopian experiment you got going on. And it shows me just how wedded and committed some people are, to the point we don't care if there's deaths. They I don't know if they've sat and thought about it. Like, did you sit and think about this? Look, I don't care if you run a company and although a lot now you start to talk tremendous financial costs, like when you have the gal who was in charge of Yahoo. Fine, a company goes bankrupt. At least there's not deaths, right? At least there's not deaths. I mean, shit ton of people lost their jobs, but at least there's not deaths, right? But you guys seem to be just wedded to these socialist ideas of bigotry and discrimination instead of objective, realistic truth. You want this little socialist utopia so much, you're willing to have people get killed for it. Do you realize that? Can you make the connection? I was watching a video. It fascinates me how the Democrat leftist mind can't make connections. Like, y'all keep majoring in dumb shit, and then you wonder why you're unemployed and have student loan debt. You can't make that connection. I'm trying to think of other instances. You keep eating food and you don't exercise, but then you get diabetes and you gotta have your leg cut off, and you don't make the connection. I guess that's irrelevant of politics. But I was just watching this video of Brandy Cruz. She has a YouTube channel, and they're talking about the Seattle payroll tax or the head tax or whatever. And the only reason I tuned in is there's a East Indian gal who's a verified socialist. She's been there for 15 years now. And she's a Karen, and she has her degree in economics. And long ago says, look, this economist thinks that she's just a rank and file socialist. That's all it is. And she, among the rest of the city council in Seattle, was about basically taxing businesses based on the number of people they employed. And it was intended to get Amazon, to drum up more money from Amazon. And all the city, the few companies that still exist in Seattle, I don't know why you guys doing Elon Musk and you stay in California for so long. Hey, wait a second. These are socialists. They're trying to take my money. No shit, Elon. Oh, now you're a Trump supporter. Okay, how much money did you give Obama back in the day? Okay, all right. Anyway, you Seattle business, Jeff Bezos. Hey, man. How's that going? You finally learning? After your divorce? How much of the Democrats taken from? How much of the left is taken from? You're maybe not a card carrying Republican, but you're starting to see, hey, wait a second. They're trying to take all my money, not some, all. Oh, no kidding, Jeff. So Jeff and the handful of other businesses that still remain or have a footprint in Seattle, they left. And now Seattle, the city, is facing a $40 million shortfall, which is not tremendous, actually. It's significant. And the gal has video of her interviewing the East Indian socialist lady and saying, like, look, this is before the tax was implemented. If businesses leave, what are you going to do? You're like, are you going to own this? And the socialist lady said socialist word salad afterwards. Again, she couldn't make the connection. If people are going to die, it's too bad. We can't stick around for you guys to make the connection, right? This is like, no. And now it's going to be up to, here's where the government's going to come in, and whoever's in control of the government is going to determine whether we have same policy or not. I could see, Donald Trump, or at the federal level, the FAA, the military, we're getting rid of DEI, which they are. But the point in time will come, the Democrats are going to win. I mean, it ebbs and flows. And you guys, are you going to undo all this and then wonder, like, are you able to connect consequences with decisions and choices you make? Are you capable of that? And forget the Democrat politicians. Are you people just, I know Americans are stupid. I know you all went to K through 12, but you got your stupid, worthless college degrees, and you do whatever television or more modernly screen tells you to do. And maybe that's what it is. Because, preacher's kid, I was in Christianity. Christians could never be wrong. I don't mean your rank and file Christians. I mean the teachers and the pastors. So when you're, a 7-year-old boy, like, well, wait, how does the death of one person forgive all that? I don't explain the bean counting on that one. Well, you just don't have God in your soul. They always had an answer. They always had an answer. A very similar, interesting, of that circular reference, impenetrable. They have all the answers no matter what, because the cult essentially must be maintained. The rules of the cult must be maintained. As some of you know, I wrote a book called The Black Man's Guide Out of Poverty. Why? Because I have disproportionate amount of young black men in my audience and clients. I noticed this, like, oh, I got a lot of young black men. I say, why don't I write a book? Because most of their questions were about getting out of poverty. I'll write The Black Man's Guide Out of Poverty because I'm an economist. I'll do a little bit of research. We'll find, some specific things that are keeping young black men down. I'll essentially publish my findings and a route out of it. And here you go. Now, for the most part, it was well received, and we continue to have except Dre. Nobody likes Dre. It's been a pretty good experience, except then we got Dre in our on. Ah, shit, Dre. Nobody likes Dre. But when it first came out, for a little while after, there's like these cultists within the black community, like, what's a white man writing a book about black men? I'm like, I don't know, because I'm trying to help out my client base and other people in that world. You stay in your lane, Whitey. Okay, you keep staying poor there, Tyrone. And it just like whatever the Christian cult, whatever the Jonestown Massacre called, we could say the black community called. You cannot get through to some of these people where they cannot make the connect. Like, look, if you keep doing this thing, it ain't going to work out. And if you're not within the code, well, what are you telling us for? Like, it's like, no, what fascinated me is apparently your neighbor white guy, your friendly neighborhood white guy, or Latino or Asian dude, if they can't help you out because you're not the same race. If you're not the same race, no one can help you out. Which is infuriating, and it's stupid, it's short-sighted, it's not true. But that level of boneheadedness, closed-mindedness, where you are committed to this cult, and that's what you Democrat, leftist, socialist, DEI, ESG, and at the altar, instead of a cross or a Star of David or the Muslim star. I don't know, what do you guys got up? I've never been in a synagogue or a mosque. It's just a vagina, and all the Democrats worship it. One must not offend the vagina. Her fifis are all important. Quick, sacrifice as many human bodies to it. We don't want the fifis offended. Their Nicene Creed is like, thou shalt not defend the fifis. Women's feelings are of ultimate importance. Murder, murder, murder. It is good for America. I don't know. You guys got the book. You guys wrote it. You guys got your singy songs. It's like, people are fucking dying. And this is not to slam on the young lady. Look, if the young lady had the opportunity, you probably take it too. Because they lie. Oh, yeah, you're the greatest ever. Participation trophy, Jerry. And no, I do not know nothing but my heart goes out to the family and all that other shit. But there's 67 other families that, and ladies, if I could get, are you trying to make them make the connection? I am. Are you banging your head against the wall? I am. Do you think there were some women on board that plane that might have died? I mean, if it's all the most important thing is fuck men, fuck white people, whatever, in your obtuse, weird world. Okay, what you DC? It's a diverse town. You don't think there were some minorities on that plane? See, unlike Democrats, I actually am not bigoted. We're talking people's lives, period, full stop. All right? You're killing people. We're at that stage now. I'm willing to hurt some people's feelings, saying, no, you're not qualified. I'm willing to use the word no So the rest of the fucking country, hell, there might have probably a good chance there were some non-Americans, some foreigners on that plane too. It's adhering to reality. There's this thing called gravity, and it's trying to kill us. We've created these things called planes, but they require some pretty, especially when there's a lot of planes going by. We need our best and brightest, regardless of who they are born like, to be piloting those things. And now you have a truly petulant, childish little mind, which are in adults' bodies. You know what would be nice if we could just, it's always those nasty men up there. For the younger generations, I need you to see this. Go look up Delta. I think it's called Endeavor Airlines. Now, they may have taken it down. They did a cute little TikTok video. The first unmanned flight. Unmanned flight? Yeah, first unmanned flight. And it was the fact that all the pilots and co-pilots, first officer, were women, and that the staff was all women. Think how dumb you got to be to do that. Think about like, oh my God, like airlines should be boring. Should be really boring. When we took off, ran a little bit of turbulence. We landed another day. Their motivations are well beyond what they should be. Motivated by politics and trait-based politics, this cult. And that should concern all of you. I mean, I am. I don't know about you. Like, what was it? Was it Jerry Seinfeld? Don't want to die, don't want to die, don't want to die. Or swim and breathe and live. Because living is good and dying not as good. I don't know about you, but I don't want to die for a bunch of women's feelings. Oh no, your feelings are hurt. Go fuck yourself. That's where we're at now. And the real issue isn't the absurdity that we're worried about death. Like, this is a real thing. It's that we got people who are going to fucking defend it because they're just rote rehearsal, occultists, non-thinking NPCs. That's where we've come up to now. If that means there's got to be nothing but straight white Christian Mormon pilots, I guess that's what it is. If it means it's nothing but black female lesbians, okay, fine. I don't care who you lick, gender, what, lady. Just land the fucking plane. This is why we had objective stand. This is why America was great. Can you make it? Here you go. Come on in. And now look what's happened the past 40. Like, we didn't just come back in time with me. Let's go back almost 40 years ago to the 80s. No one gave it. There wasn't like, are you Hispanic? Are you female? What genitalia do you like? What do you feel like identifying today? There was none of that shit. There was Michael Jackson. There was Michael Jordan. There was some really great music. It was Ronald Reagan. The Latino wasn't that big of a population. I'm trying to think. On the A team, I forget, they did have a Latino guy. It didn't fucking matter. The girls were hot. Imagine a world where you woke up and it wasn't the Democrats hadn't enforced this Orwellian nightmare of how were you born? And now that's going to set the tone of everything else. The movies were like, hey, here's a guy with a machine gun and he's going to save the Afghanistans or Afghanis. No, now every pore and orifice of the American body has to be about how were you born and what was it? And how, as a white woman, I just feel barfy, 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 barf. Now we gotta, something as simple as like, no, we don't have to have a conversation about what is the gender or the race of this person because we have objective standards. We know that's not it. He was a pilot in the United States Air Force from his qualifications were impeccable. So we know it's not that. But he's black. But yeah, he had the objective standard. So it is, yeah. It has nothing to do. He or she was the good pilot. We know it's not that. But it's a fun world you guys keep voting in. Look, I know in addition to protecting women's fifis, which is that's the thing we sacrifice everything on. I know a lot of you wanted to have lower standards so you could just go make money. No. No. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. Because if you just keep on hiring people based on how they were born and not whether they, let me ask, because I can actually, people have asked, why is it the black man's guide out of power? I say, because the men will listen. I got men coming up to my doorstep like, I gotta help me out here. All right. There's an audience. The black woman's guide out of poverty wouldn't sell because what the hell you talk? You don't talk like it's not, it wouldn't sell. It wouldn't be received. Shit, where was I gonna go with that? Shit, I had a point. Well, it doesn't matter. So there you go. We're at this world now where we get to worry about people's fifis and emotions. This will be a hill I die on. No, we're not killing people over your feelings. That's it. That's basically it. We're not killing people over your feelings. You're told no, now fuck off. Meet the standard or fuck off. And watch. You're going to watch the adults now going forward. You're going to watch some adults defend this. You're going to see the adults defend this because that's how wedded they are. All right, let's go to the super chats. Paul Cuphart, €5. Hi, Cappy. I'm interested in some of your books. How applicable are they to someone living in France and Europe? Pretty applicable. Like this one is pretty applicable because it doesn't have anything to do with, say, the French retirement system or your retirement systems. Most of the books you would read, I'd say at least 70% of the books, the finance and economics books, 70% of that would apply to you because it's universal. There's then the sections of the books that are only specific to the U.S. retirement system that would probably not apply to you. So Bachelor Pad Economics, most of that would apply. Worthless Young Person's Indispensable Guide to Choosing the Right Major would apply. Curse of the High IQ, that has nothing to do with financial planning or retirement. Enjoy the Decline, that's U.S. specific, but France is fucked too, so maybe. Women Are the Same, I'm going to believe so. If you want, The Menu would be universal. A World Without Men, an analysis of an all-female economy. I should link that down below because we're just, oh my God, we got to worship women in this country because of the way they were born and not what they're capable of, which is bigotry. Go get that book, A World Without Men, an analysis of an all-female economy, and you'll see just, like, oh, shit. I'm sure this is the same in France. But yeah, generally they'll apply. The one you could even get Bachelor Pad Economics. Just skip the part about U.S. retirement plans, and more or less all that would be the same. Samson Joshua, $5. I think they fear women's scorn more than the destruction that comes from incompetence, regardless of one's sex. I don't care that hell hath no fury like a woman's scorn. Death. I don't know. Maybe I'm not kidding. I've dated, like all of you, I dated gals back in the day, and you want to be nice, right? Makes common sense. And then you find out that doesn't work. Well, a lot of times though, and a lot of we all have our bipolar disorder girl episode where the girl is mean. And for many reasons we don't have time to go into at that point in time, they're testing you. They want to make sure that you can stand up to them so that if a real threat comes along, you'll stand up to that. And you're confused as a young man. You're like, what? What did I do? Because you think there's something wrong on your part. But I learned after my first bipolar girl, because there was another one down the road, but that obviously I kicked out rather quickly. I learned to use the word no. I've learned to not only no, but early on, what the fuck was that behavior? Well, no, you pull that shit off again, get the fuck out. on. Go watch my video on why do full-grown adult women cry. Or maybe it's why do adults cry. I forget, because men do it too. So I don't understand the so what? She cries. So what? She gets angry. No. Guys, the people are dying. But my wife might yell at me. Oh, she might divorce me. Guys, you all got to start telling them no. No, it's not going to happen. A big step would be y'all don't get married in the first place. So there's at least that legal consequence to avoid. Now, you might have kids, you're going to go to child custody court or whatever it's called. But what's the worst they're going to do? Cry? Oh, but then she'll give up the pussy, and then you won't be getting laid no more. Oh, okay. Well, let's throw the country down for that. That's worth flushing the country down the toilet. No, man. I'm sick of this fucking bullshit. Been 40 fucking years. Okay, every accommodation, oh, are you in a okay, maybe it didn't work. Okay, no, fuck you. People are dying. And no, I'm not going on your fucking plane, Delta. I will drive, or I will find another airline. It pisses me off how childish we have to be now, how cautious and an added researcher informed consumer I must be. I can't assume you have good pilots now. I have to worry about whether you chinced out and compromised on training because of fucking identity politics. The fuck out of here with this shit. And just, oh no, women scorn. And when you tell them no, you know what sometimes happens? They're even more attracted to you. Go watch McClintock. Great movie. It's basically a Western interpretation of Taming of the Shrew. It's all about him avoiding the scorn of his overbearing wife until he mans up and cowboys up, says, that's enough of this shit. And he goes and he chases her down. I am ruining the rest. If you don't want, skip over the next 10 seconds. He grabs her in front of everybody. He spanks her. God bless America. Taming of the Shrew, I believe, was William Shakespeare, was it not? It's almost like they knew this about human nature back in the past. Reen, how you doing? $5. Dude, the women jokes are going to be way worse than they were in like the 60s if this trend continues. Yeah, I guess. I mean, they're going to be more dark because there's way more, like, you know, the memes, the wheel is all scratched up. I mean, yeah, they're kind of lighthearted, and now it's just going to be like, oh yeah, here's a crash. Here's a, and I don't mean to belittle the death of the 67 people that died, but after an appropriate amount of time where it's not too soon, we're like, hey, look, DEI. Jeremy Rivera, $2. Would you rather go to Coachella or Burning Man? Burning Man. Just without a doubt, I'd rather go to Burning Man. Coachella just looks pretentious as fuck. I know Burning Man would be a bunch of pothead idiots, probably equally pretentious, but at least I'm not dealing with, I go to Burning Man all the way. All the way. Drew, $2. Did you see Karen suing the Navy to be? Say, yes, exactly my point. Exactly. Like if they accommodated her and put her on a SEAL team, like that SEAL team wouldn't be compromised and all those men's lives at risk. That better be thrown the fuck out, and she better be debarred with that fucking nonsense. Oh, but she might be offended, and other women would say that it's sexist if we debarred her. No, you're wasting our fucking time. Get the fuck out of here. This is serious fucking shit. Eric Powell, $20. Hey, Cappy, I've never been a blind supporter of what DEI became in recent years. Regardless, I hope that my fellow citizens that happen to be white and male don't equate DEI to any potential minority hire. Well, see, that's the problem, Eric. That's what I said before. See, now we got to worry about this, right? If there were objective standards and I saw you as a pilot, I'd say, well, he's got a bit poofy hair, but I think he can land the plane. He managed. He got through. But now you could be a qualified woman. You could be a qualified Hispanic. And because of the crash, because we're letting not qualified people in, and with the push for DEI, it has to be disproportionately female and minority. down the road, what you're going to start to see is a statistical increase in the number of accidents by women and minorities. That would be my theory or my thesis. It has yet to be borne out. And now that's going to taint the reputation of all minorities and females, including those who would have been qualified. But if we never started with this political horseshit to begin with, you'd be like Alex Patino, truck driving Latino agent in the field. No one would think twice if they saw Alex driving down the road. Of course, you got to look up. You can't see him half the time. But let me ask you this, Eric. Okay, you're driving down Interstate 40, right? There's a ton of truck traffic going by. Well, you're actually going past the trucks. Trucks are slow. And let's say you come up against the legend. You see the legend himself, Alex Patino, truck driving Latino agent in the field, and you pass him and you see him as like, oh my God, it's him. And you salute him and he salutes you to keep going on. I think you'd be like, it's Alex, but he's Latino. You wouldn't even think about it. Let's say you come up on a different truck and it says girl boss trucker on the back. Like, oh shit. Don't you tell me you went downshift a third to pass that fucking truck as quickly as possible. Right? But come back to my world. All right, do women typically become truck drivers? No. But if you knew, hey, you got to go to trucking school and you got to pass the exact same, like regular old driving, right? Setting driving jokes aside, you don't typically worry about women drivers unless there's something stupid, and then you got to do your own statistical study. Like you got to look, who's in this fucking car? Who is it? And you play the game, Okay, they were driving kind of slow, and it's an SUV. I think it's a white woman from the suburbs. You get Asian gal, old Asian gal. Didn't guess it right. You come up, and I'm like, who is this fucking idiot in the truck? It's some dang diggly drunk white guy. And you come up, and it's like, no, it's the soccer mom. I got that one wrong too. Actually, it used to be pretty easy. Nowadays, no one knows how to drive. Period. But don't tell me if you're on the interstate and it's like she got the feminist sign for her mud flaps, you be like, oh, fuck. No way. Maybe it's time to get gas and let her get another 50 miles. Maybe today I choose life. But if it was objective standards, like, well, you wouldn't even think about it. You might think, oh, yeah, she got whatever. Let's see, she did have the feminist sign on her mud flaps. You wouldn't really think about it like, no, because we have objective standards. But no, here we are, and you're right, Eric. Here's another perfect example. Disney, in its blind, and Hollywood in general, in its blind pursuit of DEI, has basically ruined female hero movies, right? I'll give you the perfect example. Furiosa, all right? No one went and saw Furiosa. Why? Because it was a girl boss movie. The girl was a lead character. Only through accident did I see that movie with my buddies. It was bordering an excellent movie. It was a really good movie. I very much enjoyed it. And yes, it happened to have a female protagonist. But because of all the DEI political horseshit associated with bad movies on top of it that Disney, Hollywood has come out with the political messaging on top of it, now you can't sell, you couldn't sell Alien because it has a female lead. So they've had the complete opposite effect on those that they were presumably intending to help out by just having anyone come in with no acting chops, directing chops, or even a good movie or script associated with it. And now, really, if you got a choice, right? I'm going to go see The Accountant 2, which is, it's out now. Because the first one was good. But if you give me any girl boss movie now, I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Even though I know Furiosa was good, I'm still, yeah. And that's the problem. That's the problem, is if you just let people excel who are good, it'll be good. And you say, oh, did you know that happened to be a black director? Oh, yeah, I didn't know. Oh, it happened to be female. I didn't even know about that. I'm going to go watch her movies, though, because the movies were good. Not because she's got vagina, but because she directed a good fucking movie. Dre, $2. Pick one. Choose AI or female pilot. Chat, put A or F. You lost me, Dre. Who let Dre in, by the way? Pick one. Choose AI or female pilot. Oh, for the chat, put A or F. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, you're asking the chat to do that. Dre again for $2. But Cappy has 25% advantage when it comes to money. No, my grandma, I'm pretty sure she was Christian the entire time. Like, I think that's the one that converted because she married my grandpa and they were Christian. But I mean, it truly only is blood. There was no practice. There was elements of like food got in. But like I said, never went to synagogue, never held a Torah. It just is a fluke. I'm sure, Dre, if you go to your 23andMe, you might be a little surprised. We might be a little more closely related. Fucking happening with Marcus Brown. Marcus Brown, he's the guy on the cover of The Black Man's Guide Out of Poverty. Longest time, Clary, right? Last name. Oh, we're Irish family. You're Irish. Okay, we're Irish. It makes sense. St. Patrick's Day. Yay. Well, I do the 23andMe. I'm like 3% Irish and 60% Scandinavian. So what it was is the Vikings came through Ireland, fucked a bunch of people, and it's the Scandinavian gene that just happened to pick up the Irish name of Clary en route to America, whatever, 100 years ago, 150 years ago. And then somewhere 18% Spaniard came out of nowhere. So I found, I'm like, I can't, St. Patrick's Day, or Irish, sure, let's celebrate it. And then I'm like, I'm like 3% Irish. I can't even celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Well, fucking Marcus Brown goes. He does 23andMe. He's like an eighth Irish. Some guy back in the day got in there. And then he's got his thing. Hey, Clary, look at this. I'm like, you son of a bitch. And he goes out. That's St. Patrick's Day with his 23andMe. He's got a shirt that says, kiss me, I'm Irish. And he's more legit than me. And he was getting girls to give him a kiss, and he's just having a good old time. So I did not have there was no money in coming from that side of the family. It was Jorge asks $5. Such a Virgo thing of you to do, for you to question a woman's feelings and protect them from their bad decisions and disregard for human life. Tisk. Sam Joshua, 15 generous dollars. Yes, there does seem heavy amounts of tribalism in Black people's DNA. I don't know if it's DNA. Well, look, everyone's going to have tribalism. That's how you survived in the past. So I would say it's no more. I would say within American Black community, there is a political, it's more cultural, is what I'm saying. This is on top of the hardwired genetic code everyone happens to have. And I also think it's mental. Haven't you ever ran into that? Like, typically, it's a Christian that has an answer for everything. Or, like, well, wait, how come the fossil record shows, well, God put it there? Like, okay, I can't argue with this. And, oh, here, there happens to be, I don't know, a Black dude on the side of the road, motorcyclist. Because I don't pull over and help out, but I will help out a motorcyclist. I pull over. I'm like, hey, buddy, you need help? Like, get the fuck out of here, Whitey. Like, really? I mean, that's kind of the same equivalent. So I think it's cultural. I see some of it in my dad, where he only ever seems to be comfortable opening up only to other Eritreans and Ethiopians. See, but that's not DNA. That's culture. Those are two specific countries, right? You guys aren't too far unrelated to the Sudanese. Why? You don't talk to the Sudanese? Is it Djiboutians? Whatever that one. You don't talk to the Somalians? Because fuck those East African people. They're not like us. That's like me. Fucking Canadians. You can't trust those fuckers. Really? I know there's a couple wars between them all. But genetically, you kind of, like, that's like the Germans, like, those fucking Austrians. I don't trust those shady fuckers. To the chickens. You're old, dude. That's almost like All in the Family with Archie Bunker, but he's the African version. where he only ever seems to be comfortable opening up to only to other Eritreans and Ethiopians. Okay, but not those fucking South Sudanese. Sly fuckers over there. To the chickens, $2. Hey, Chat GPT, land plane. Oh, Reen, $5 again. Whitey Supreme people couldn't have come up with a better strategy. They have set us back decades in equality of people. Oh, well, I get what? You've lost me, Reen. I gotta be careful with what I say on the internets. I don't think it's a strategy. I be perfectly honest. I think it's no different than when you're a young man and you want to, you want to be nice to people, right? Well, why not? Like, yeah, come on in, get it. And even I, in some regards, am for like a very minimal but precisely placed amount of affirmative action. Like, all right, you come from the freaking ghetto and you got no hope whatsoever. Your dad ain't around. All your siblings are half or step. All right, let's make some accommodations for you. So at least you're not starving when you go to college. If you go to trade school, whatever. So I can understand people want to be nice, but it's going to be nice to a fault, right? Especially, and a lot of you probably have done this when you were young men. You're like trying to make this woman happy. Like, okay, I'll get her flowers. I'll do this. And you realize, no, she's just a bitch. And the answer is to say, fuck off. No, there should be some objective standards. Like, you're not late. You're not cheating on me. You're not doing drugs, and you're not acting up like you got some kind of fucking mental disorder. You're going to be a nice fucking person. You get the fuck out. They have set us back in decades. Oh, I see what you're saying. In an unintentional way, now because people are like, oh shit, it's a female pilot. Now, because my life is at risk, I got to say, wait, now we care about traits people were born with. Is that what you're saying? Now, because of the consequences of DEI and all this, now we're like, wait, what is the gender or the race of the person? I see what you're saying. Okay. And now that would be in line with the white people better than the rest believers. Okay, I see. Colin K, $5. Whose plane is it anyways? Where's the qualification? Where the qualifications are made up and your lives don't matter. Michael M, $10. The unfortunate truth is that plenty of demographic groups in the U.S. are fine with institutionalized bigotry. Look, it's going to be a real fucking boring world if we are all universally low grade and interchangeable. How many of you would watch the NBA if we had to have affirmative action for short white dudes and Asians and women? How many of you would watch the NBA if you had to have quotas of women? Right. It just happens to be black men, tall black men. Was it Spudsy Bogues? He's a short guy. It doesn't matter. I think we're all okay with black men dominating the NBA because they're the best fucking players. I don't want to watch short female Asian basketball, but you know what I do want? I want short Asian females probably being accountants. I want Asian dudes building Honda and Toyota and Japanese cars because they're high quality. And that's what fucking pisses me off. There is already a natural diversified pros and strengths of every group out there, male, female, it doesn't matter. Except people faking mental illness. No, it's just you being whiny. Let people do their fucking thing. And now, yes, we'll have weaknesses and strengths, but you'll have superior, like this. It's not necessarily race, but you could see it in countries and what they export. The Russians, Slavs are very good at making vodka. The Swiss, whatever the hell mountainous group of people that might be considered, are good at making chocolates. Fucking Christ, let people do what they're good at and stop trying to force people into doing everything for everyone. Latinos happen to be good truck drivers. Someone needs a country ballad for Alex Patino, truck driving Latino agent in the field. The unfortunate truth that plenty of demographic groups in the U.S. are fine with institutionalized bigotry against others, so as long as their group is the one receiving preferential treatment. Yeah, no, until planes start crashing, right? I think whatever minority group or disadvantaged group you might happen to be in, like, wait, whoa, wait. Yeah, okay, I'd like to see whatever. A Latina be a pilot. Unless that means I'm gonna die. Right? Now you gotta wait a minute. I too would like to see a quarter Jew, mostly Scandinavian, Spaniard in there. But if he looks a little drunk, is he the best? Or was he hired because he's like 18% Spaniard? I got to worry about that shit because it's my life. I might be a Green Bay Packers fan, but if it's going to result in me dying at Lambeau Field, like, I'm not that big of a Green Bay Packers fan. Eric Powell, $5. I completely agree with your thesis. Well, it's the only logical one I could see. I don't want to die, and I want the best product. I don't care who makes it. There it is. Hey, look at who's special guest celebrity in the house, real life fake wizard. Everybody go subscribe to his channel. He does video game reviews and he stays on top of cultural stuff. But I appreciate Wizard. I want to thank you for Monster Hunter Wild review, because I too am an old fart and I don't have time to learn all the fucking details and mechanics of that game. Because I was gonna go buy it, and then you said you got to go kill 8 things to get the 8 different ingredients to foster the ingredients to make a staff. And then you got to go kill another 8 things to foster the thing to put the axe on top of the staff. And then you got to go kill the thing to, like, no, this sounds way too complicated. My father's a mechanic with one of the major airlines. It's worse than we hear. It's a cancer at the root of each of the airlines. Yeah, that's what concerns me. Like how important are people's feelings? Apparently above all else. Well, I mean, look at what we've done to our children. There's no dads. There's no discipline. There's no telling them no. There's always timeouts. There's no spanking. There's like, no, you're not fucking doing that. You're doing this. Because you can't hurt the children's feelings. Well, you're not preparing the kid for the real world. Now you got a bunch of whiny, crazy adult children. I need a student loan bailout. Seriously. Is it that hard to tell people no? I'm never going to be a father, never want to be a father, but God damn it, if I had kids, it'd be this love-hate where I wouldn't hate, the discipline would be love. Like, there'd be spanking, there'd be limping, but then there'd be like, and we're doing this. No, you're not doing that. Brush your teeth. Why? Because I fucking said so. And if we're going to have a battle of testing and patience and you're going to cry and pout, I'll outlast you, kid. You got to beat them that one time. But oh my God, my child's crying. Sweetheart, we don't do that. Negotiating with a fucking 4-year-old. You're getting a spanking, you're going to bed. A mechanic, the people involved at keeping the planes in the air, affirmative action. My God. My fucking God. I hope minorities and women wake up and realize, oh shit, we're talking about my life here. Yes, ladies, I know team vagina is really, really, really fucking important. But you know what's more important? Your fucking life. Postmodern mining, 10 generous dollars. When a society becomes really peaceful, women try to off the men using proxy violence that protect and provide for them. Well, wait, do you have evidence to point to this? Is there something in Animal Behavior Quarterly that would indicate this? I mean, I'm sure in some animal, the black widows tried praying mantises to try to kill the men afterwards. But is that really the case? That's a different discussion. How women have evolved in. Oh, what would it be? I'd say almost post-materialist economies. First world societies where there was no war wiping out 10% of your men every year. I'm kind of what made you say that? I'm not throwing it out, but I'm kind of like Women try to off the men using proxy violence that protect and provide for them. I don't know. I think they're just bored. Is that a deep enough sociological? I think they're just bored and things are too good. And so they gotta change. They need some men fighting over. I'll go along with your theory on that because that's every Harlequin romance thing ever. Is there's two men fighting over the love of a truly ordinary average woman, and it's not like Alex Patino, truck driver, Latino agent in the field, and Cappy Cap, mediocre economist of days of yore, which would make for a pretty good Street Fighter video game. Cappy versus Alex, fight! That'd be kind of cool. Get Dre in here, DJ Aftershow. We get everyone have our own Street Fighter 2 version. It'd be good times. I think it is. That's what I'll grant your thesis a little bit off. I'll grant it 25% authenticity. There might be something there. Yeah, I mean, what? The Romans got so bored they started having Christians and the lions kill each other, right? I could see it. Eric Powell, another generous. Man, everything. Beers are on Eric today. Eric Powell, $20 generous dollars. At Cappy, Africa is the most DA diverse place on the planet. Major misconception is that all blacks are the same. We're not. Slavery brought over several tribes with different genetics, cultures, etc. Genetic memory is real. All right, so I would definitely say that the American black experience has obviously been different than the African continent. So would it be similar to like back in the olden days in, let's say, Chicago, like the 1910s, 1920s, it'd be like you're part of this Italian family and then your daughter want to date an Irish guy and then the dad get pissed off like, that damn Irish. Is it kind of like that? Is it? And I know whatever, somebody from Mali is different than somebody from South Africa. So is it kind of like that where, what do you mean you're dating a German? You can't date a German. You have to find a good Irish boy or something like that. I'm not looking for another super chat. I'm just wondering if that's more. I just find it funny, your old man. What's kind of funny, like if you had some really old timer here in the United States and you need to find a good Irish Catholic boy, and you look at him like, Grandpa, what are you talking about? The guy goes to church. He's an Italian. He's a good. So what if he's Italian? What do you care? Oh, I don't like Luigi. Okay, Grandpa. Magnum Ope is $5. There's no tribalism amongst blacks. It's more culture than anything else. Well, okay, we talking because Magnum, you're black too. We do have to differentiate between continental Africa and the United States because completely different upbringings for the past 300 years. There's no tribalism amongst blacks. It's more culture than anything else. Unfortunately, people tend to develop a hive mind in toxic cultures. I'll tend to go along with you, Magnum. I think everyone has I don't trust those people, right? That's in every group because we've all went through that in our ancestral past. But more modernly, yeah, right now, when you say black community, the emphasis really should be on community, not necessarily the black, because it is almost its own cult within that community. Where you cannot leave the reservation, man. You dare step out, try and improve you, so you think you're better than me. That we'll talk to Dre about that. And that's cultural. That because it happens. It happens in other groups too. But yeah, definitely, you think you're better than me. All right, there you go. What is it? Look at this. It's too early in the morning for this. Look at that. I thought I'd just do this quick one. Link below is a link called Enjoy the Decline, Accepting Living with the Death of the United States. Heart goes out to both the family and the pilots, family of the pilots. This is not good. This is sad. The least we can do is learn from this so it happens less in the future again. And yeah, check out who your pilot is. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.